this. Ooh. What is her last name? If she has one. She does not have a last name. Okay. It works for me. Hey Alex, I'm just finishing this. I almost missed the stream time. I was so occupied working on this. I was just kind of in the zone, and then I look at the time and it was already past 9. I was like, oh shit. Let me just save out some versions. How many are we at right now? We're at 20, so all the ones I'm working on right now will be the end of year 2, and then I'll be moving on to year 3. No, I saw your entrance. That's why I chuckled. Hope you're doing well. What am I doing? Oh yeah, turn this off. Turn this off. That's weird why it would send me here. Save. Last one. Can you guys hear me? Okay, just making sure he can hear me. Oh, you're working from home. Alright, so Tristan's done. Debating on if I should work on... I should probably just work on Kazooie next. Because I can work on those remaining... the comic commissions tonight off stream. It might be faster. Alright, so we're done with you. Let me go grab Kazooie's reference. Close that for now, I don't need it. Okay, got Kazooie. Look for a good enough body type. Can save that for another occasion. Been up for a little bit already. Yeah, it's always a good thing to be able to still work but like relax at the same time. What is this? Ah, I remember. Trying to find a good reference to use for Kazooie. There we go. Okay, this should be good. Let me just... put this over here. I'll swap places of these two. Let me just find another picture of her because the hair is kind of throwing me off for a moment. Trying to make sure that's like... yeah, that's what I thought. I'll probably go a little stylized and make it more feathery. Okay. Kind of move it over a bit, just so I can have some more space. I know, right? Because of what happened between games. And so Fat Kazooie is actually a thing already. And this is gonna be interesting because Kazooie has those like toon googly eyes. So let's see if I can do okay in that. You know what, judging from how I'm gonna do this, I should probably just rotate the canvas now. There we go. It's like we've learned several things about Kazooie. One, she's been fat before. Two, she doesn't mind being manhandled by Banjo. And three, she enjoys violence. She's perfect. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to go a little bit more toonish with her eyes, because I know how the googly eyes stuff work. But looking at how her eyes are a little bit more oval. I might adjust things over time. Or we'll just see how I go about it. So I do this. Yeah, it could work. I think I just have to see what kind of spin I want to do off of it. Let's see, because I might do it the way I do Becky's eyes to a degree. Just way more close together, I guess. I don't know, we'll see. See how this looks. It might just be the case I just have to spread it out more, because how do they look when they used her in Smash? Because I think in Smash they stuck to it. Yeah. They're close together, but they also seem a little bit more separated compared to the original. The original, they look like they overlap. The newer versions look like they've been a little bit more spaced out, just a tad. So this will be interesting. Kind of doing a lot of trial and error right now just to get a better feel of this. I think it might just be better to just do what I do. But I think I will add a bit of go with a little bit of Becky's route. To help with comfort grappling with the Apima. I could see Kazooie, like, if she ever got fat again, she wouldn't care because she's been that fat before. But if anyone tried to like make jokes about it, she'd probably get pissy over it and have some like snide remark. Like someone be like, "Ah, oh, look at this fat bird," and she's like, "Oh, what's wrong? Afraid to handle all this?" I mean, she could probably go way worse than that. She's a bitch. I still like that one animation somebody made of Mithra and Kazooie having a fight. And Mithra calls her a bitch, and Kazooie pops her tit. She's like, Kazooie, Kazooie, look at me. And Kazooie just rolls her eyes at her. Yeah, if anything, she'll just take advantage of being fat. Either take advantage of being fat or like poke fun at people who make fun of her, because then she'll be like, "Oh, guess you're too much of a chicken shit to handle all this bird, huh?" But then she'd probably compliment Banjo, is like, "Not like my man Banjo over here." He's like, he carries me all the time. Banjo wouldn't know what the fuck to say to all that. He was like, what's happening here? It's like, you know goddamn well they bone. And that she's a top. She is definitely a top. Actually, just make her bill a little fatter since she's supposed to be big and plump. If it was Fat Kazooie, she'd probably be like, "All right, Banjo, go get the straps, and also bring some cake." And then she'd probably say like, "Oh yeah, and order us another bed. We're about to break this one." Take a little bit of creative liberties with her. Shorten that a bit. My ideal breakfast? Fuck. I love breakfast stuff. I would say it's between waffles and French toast, or both. Both is good. I love both of those. They're just delicious. Have some scrambled eggs on the side, bam. And if it's Christmas time, get some eggnog. Hell yes. Ah yes, French waffles. Just combine them all together. She's got an interesting head shape. Tomorrow I'll put up a few things. I'll announce being open for more Ask the Cast, another poll to get year 3 started, and then I'll also announce whether or how much longer the Blake drive will go. And I don't know, like maybe I'll put that if one of the pictures gets funded, then it'll like extend the time by however much I'm going to say. So like for example, if I said the deadline was like the 17th, but then one of them gets funded, then it'll extend it by like another 2 weeks or something. Maybe longer if I'm in the mood. Okay. I'm gonna give her feathery frills. God, now I want French toast. Which is funny because I had that yesterday. But not gonna say no to having more. Actually, let's see. It's like I want the feathery frills, but I'm not married to how I did that. Yeah, I think that would be a better way to handle it. So let's redo that. Ooh, those do sound good. I like mushrooms. Mushrooms are good. There we go, this is better. Did I not save Tristan's file over here? Wait, where is this? Oh, okay. Oh shit, I did not mean to. Oh, okay. Thought I closed that. Oh, I did not. I was wondering why that was weird. Paste. And now Kazooie. Alright, first let me rename Tristan's. And now that I think about it, I did not give these to Tristan's file, so hold on a moment. I might actually go back and add in dialogue for Tristan. But I'll do that off stream. There we go. There's Kazooie. Feels like you've drawn her before. Have I drawn? I don't think so. Let me see. If it doesn't show up on DeviantArt, then I haven't drawn her. Nope, not according to this. Because I would have at least posted something mentioning her. Just change her head tilt. I need a shot of her neck. Yeah, that's what I do when you guys give me characters to draw. I go through like a shit ton of research of them. I'm all like, oh, what's their neck look like? What do they look like from this angle? Ugh. The nuts and bolts version of them is just horrifying. Okay, her neck seems pretty standard. Nothing too crazy. Hold on, what does Fat Kazooie's neck look like? Because they did chub up her neck. Yeah, she's got a few rolls on her neck in the nuts and bolts version. So this depends on how I go about it. Yeah. Nuts and bolts is just a why. Nuts and bolts feels like it was only made just to show off. Oh, hey, we have your favorites that that were on Nintendo. Remember Banjo? Here's a new game with him. But then it's like nothing, like the Banjo-Kazooie game that everyone loves, which is why they only mention 1 and 2. And then 3 is like, or Nuts and Bolts is like a fever dream. And then now that we have them from Smash, that's just more reason why people want them the way they were. Yeah. Well, not even just too meta. It just wasn't the same gameplay. Yeah, you were running around a bit, but it was too focused on the whole building and racing bullshit that nobody cared about. And then it just felt like it was uninspired. That it was literally just there to to try to draw in people who love the series, but because it's on a different platform, that they had to try to move people over. I never did play Ukulele or the side-scrolling sequel. I'll have to try to get into that. See if it, because I heard it was like kind of okay, but then it had like some issues, but then it got better. I'll keep it like this for now, and I might change this once I draw the rest of her. She normally doesn't have tits, but whatever, she's in tits. Big bird breast, big chicken breast. Kazooie gives me the feeling where like if Banjo came home and he was like hiding from somebody, it's like the scene from Silicon Valley. I forget their names, but it was when one of the developers was getting bullied by kids, and his manager was like, "Have you been crying?" And then he goes out there and beats the shit out of the kid that was fucking with him. So yeah, I could totally see Kazooie doing that, where Banjo just comes home being messed with by one of the enemies or something, and Kazooie's like, "Banjo, have you been crying?" And Banjo's like, and then she goes out there and beats the living shit out of whoever was messing with him. And then just mix in a little bit of Millie from Hello Hell of a Boss, where she goes to Banjo and she's like, "This ass is mine," spanks him. I could totally see Kazooie doing all that, and it'd be cute. And we know Banjo can be aggressive too, so he wouldn't just be like a pushover. But yeah, Banjo Kazooie's relationship I could totally see as being very similar to Moxie and Millie. It's like, oh, you want to keep watching? Yes. Stop pausing my goddamn music. If anything, YouTube should just let the music and all that and videos keep playing, because this is more ad revenue for them. It's like, for all they know, people could have just left their video on and just walked away. Yeah, I'm gonna have to adjust this so that the roll is coming more under. So let's see if I can do that right now. We'll probably tweak it more. But for now, it's fine. Yeah, exactly. It would be like if I was watching a movie on TV and I fell asleep or something, and then the TV just pauses the movie, saying like, "Hey, do you want to keep going?" And then it's be like, "Dude, just fucking play the movie, regardless of if I'm watching it or not. For all you know, I could have walked away and I'm just listening to it." Which sometimes that's the case when I'm watching YouTube videos. I'll just replay videos I've already watched and I'll just let it sound in the background while I'm drawing. Okay, so let's shrink this a bit. And I'll probably make the canvas bigger if I have to do that again. Is Diddy Kong Racing on the Switch? Oh, in 2025? Jesus. Either that or it's already up there. I don't know. I might be looking at wrong information. Hello, Pablo. Apparently there's rumors of a sequel to Diddy Kong Racing. That's interesting. And bigger. Yeah, like I mean, there's a lot of franchises that still have plenty of fans. There's just been a lot of mishandling of the franchises or half-assed measures because it's like, oh, everybody wants a new insert game here and they make one, but then it's either nothing like the games they made before, because that's basically what people want. They just want the same thing, but with, you know, new shit. And then there's the other side where they'll make the stuff you want, but then they'll also toss in some shit that essentially makes it worse. And then you're at a crossroads here. You're like, well, it's more of what I wanted, but then you fucked it up by adding in shit that we didn't need, and it makes the game worse because you did it. And then that's the problem. And then companies be like, well, people don't want these games. Like, no, we do. We just don't want you to fuck it up when you make it. And yes, that is Big Chicken. Her wings are interesting. I'm going to do it this way. Oh yeah, I'm sure in the beginning, Kazooie would just completely ignore the fact that she's gotten fatter, and then Banjo would continue to try to carry her as she gets fatter and fatter, just making it more and more of a task, and then finally, no, it should be where Banjo is like trying to be polite and he doesn't tell her that she's gotten fat, and he just, you know, keeps up the struggle. And then finally, after he's like on the brink of about to tell her, she just straight up asks him, like, Banjo, have I gotten fat? And then that's when Banjo is like passes out from the relief that he can actually talk to her about it. And then, you know, he'll still be polite and tell her, like, well, I mean, you might have put on a little, and then go from there. And she'll be a little bit stubborn about it. Like, at first she'll be in denial and he's like, I haven't gotten fat, as she eats like a donut or something. And if it was more like relationship focused, she'd probably be like a little insecure, but ask him, like, you know, like, do I still look okay? And then he'll be like, Kazooie, you'll always look gorgeous to me. And so she'd feel a little relief. Oh yeah, that shit was funny. Especially when you play as Banjo and you're walking around and every time you jump the screen shakes because of how big he's gotten. Along with Kazooie. But yeah, like, I could totally see Kazooie being in denial at first, but then accepting it. But then she also likes the fact that that Banjo would still fancy her. This is gonna be the hard part, figuring out how much thickness she actually has. Guess I'll give her a little bit of anthro features just to balance it out. Cause she's in one of those situations where she's more feral. But she also exhibits moments of having anthropomorphic anatomy. Because she can, like, bend her wings in certain ways and use her feathers as fingers. Which, to be honest, that's most bird characters. Hold on, because I'm thinking of this in a particular way. I need to figure out it. There we go. This is how I want it. Just gotta iron it out. So let's change how this Buba looks to make this better. I could totally see, like, after they lose the weight from nuts and bolts, Kazooie ends up going back to the old habits, but Banjo's like more careful about it. But then that's when he's like, you know, on the side of not telling Kazooie that she's gotten fat. I would say Smash would, if Smash was canon to Banjo-Kazooie, I would say that would take place after all of their fetish shenanigans, because beating on other characters would be something Kazooie would be into. And she's like, "Oh my god, that was so much fun. Let's keep doing that. Let's do more." And so they go and battle other characters, or just, you know, go to like cage fights or something. Or Banjo might get tired of doing that for a while, but Kazooie would sneak out and go to like cage matches and just wear like a mask or something. Even though, you know, she's a bird, it's kind of hard for her to hide it, unless she dyes her feathers, or she uses Mambo's magic to turn her into a dragon and then goes and fight. They have a truck now. That was all. Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's tweak this too. Actually, I probably can't go past that. I'm gonna say just the finger or the thumb. But yeah, like, I could totally see Kazooie sneaking off to do cage fights because she gets a thrill from the violence. But yeah, Kazooie's definitely a top when it comes to her and Banjo's relationship. I know, right? It's like, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. Like, bitch, this is my cage. She just goes fucking crazy. And like in the morning, when Banjo finally gets up for breakfast or whatever, Kazooie's just fucking passed the fuck out. But then suspiciously, she has like a bunch of fucking trophies and stuff. I know, right? Bird wrestlers doing well in cage fights. She wears the shorts in this relationship, exactly. She's like, Banjo's wearing them, but they're mine. It's like his ass belongs to me. Oh yeah, that would definitely be a thing in the underground. Have a cage match. Have like a bird character who's really good in fucking cage matches because they can just cling to the entire thing and just zip around. Just be like a fucking menace. Great, now I'm all thinking of like making my own Kazooie-ish character. And she gets home to her man. Just slams the fuck out of him. Because she's like so hot and bothered after doing her cage match. I mean, that's essentially fucking Mars at that point. It's like, that's just Mars. But can totally have Mars have like a fight against a bird character. He's like, we're introducing a cage match. And she's like, what? So many ideas I want to do. I need to hurry the fuck up and get through all this baggage. Let's just this. I mean, she clearly has way more than 5 feathers, but I'm just gonna give her typical 5 fingers for this. Like, how many does she have in this shot? She's got about 8. So I could do the initial 5, and then the other 3 would be smaller. So I have like the other 3 would be like over here. This is all assuming you'd even see it anyway. But these 5 are fine. Oh yeah, Kazooie's fun. She's just a fun character. And like the more, and like especially nowadays, like the more that you know that she's a bitch, the more fun she is because of it. It's like, oh, she's dead. She's totally a Sunjoy. Like it'd be super obvious that at first she wouldn't tell Banjo that she likes him, and then finally she comes out with it, but she's still like a bitch afterwards. I would say the days where she's actually like all lovey-dovey and nice are the days that it freaks out Banjo more. Like he'd prefer her the other way. He'd be like, what's going on here? He's like, oh, I just thought I'd make you breakfast, and he's like, okay. And she's like, I made eggs. And like he'd like it, but it'd be weird. Bottom banjo, yeah, timid bottom banjo. Exactly. I like that they actually play musical instruments too. That's just cute. It's like that's what they do on their like relaxing time or something. They both just play like a little song together. I still remember when Banjo and Kazooie were teased in Diddy Kong Racing, because it's like Banjo was playable, but when you read the manual of all the characters and stuff, it mentions Kazooie, and I was like, oh, who the hell? Well, I didn't say who the hell. I was like, what, 7 or something? No, I think I was older than that. I was like 10. But I was like, oh, who's Kazooie? And then later on, we get Kazooie. So let's see if I were to do it that way. What would it be? You know what? I see the problem. I made this a little too long. So let's move it up. And then I love how Conker just kind of ended up becoming a fucking asshole. He was just done. He's like, oh, I went on a couple happy adventures and now I'm pissed. Especially how he gets screwed over at the end of his Bad Fur Day game. So you can tell he's just, if he had any way of getting out of his situation and even fixing it, then he probably will. So I would love for them to make another Conker. And then have him, like, I don't know, wish his girlfriend back because he didn't get a chance to do that when the developers helped him. He's like, shit, I could have got Brandy back. Wait, developer, where are you? I think that was her name, Brandy. Let's plump this up just a little bit more. I think it would be cute where like when Banjo and her first get together. I think it would be cute if he like celebrated her birthday. And she's like, "You remember my birthday?" And he's like, "Of course I did." And she like doesn't know what to say because she's never been put in that position before. Basically, getting her flustered just makes it cute because she's the Sunday type. So she's like, "What? You? What do I do?" I think your backpack is shrinking. Oh yes, it's definitely the backpack. I still like that you get different codes and stuff like that in the game to just use, and they're completely like optional. Like turning her into a dragon or turning both of them into a washing machine. And the only ones that you actually have to use are just like the ones that actually progress the game. It's like the rest are just like for fun. I still remember the wishy-washy banjo code. Yeah, right? It's like games have stopped like I mean games are still fun, but they stopped just like having more fun, like letting the developers do whatever. Like there used to just be dumb shit where it's like, "Oh, here's a code where your character's head is bigger." And at first you're thinking like, "Oh, that's silly," but then you realize that it makes your character's hitbox bigger. And so it actually gives you more of a challenge because now your character is more easily able to be hit. Yeah, exactly. Or wireframe mode where everything's in fucking wireframe. You're trying to fucking navigate that. I mean, hell, they put in a code for Mortal Kombat to turn the blood off just so parents would stop fucking complaining. It's like, all right, here's a code to turn off blood. Done. I think later on they just made it a setting, but yeah, that was a thing. Yeah, Tony Hawk. There was the boobs code because in Pro Skater 4, like this was the code. It was this. Well, it was period. So it was that period, this period, this. That was the code to unlock the stripper for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. I played the shit out of that character too, especially because in one of the levels you can clip through her clothing and see that she has pasties on. So that just made it more funny. So yeah, like just shit like that, like random nonsense in games was the fun part, or was one of the fun parts. Or like in Star Fox for Super Nintendo, you had the 2 extra levels to go to, and they were completely optional, but it was just like, what the hell? Because they were like super weird. I mean, the code was easy, but yeah. I mean, some codes I still remember from like Sonic the Hedgehog. Like I remember the Go Anywhere code, and I remember Supersonic because Supersonic is easy. Or I definitely remember Mega Man X because the code for Mega Man X to get almost everything. I say almost because you're only missing one heart container if you use this code. But it was 81414666666156, if I remember correctly. Eight, 1, 4, 1, 4, 6, 6, 1, 5, 6. Yeah, that should be it. And it gives you all of the items in the game except for one heart container, and it's in the octopus boss's level. I forget his name for some reason. It's like blinking on me, but it's in his level, and you have to go to the one that's at the bottom of the sea after the ship crashes. You have to go to that one, and then grab it, and then you'll have everything. And then the only other weapon you have left to get is Mega Man's Ryu's Hadouken that you learn from Dr. Light. So you basically go to Armor Armadillo's level, you kill yourself, what was it, like 6 or 7 times or something like that, and then that's when his capsule will show up at the very end of the level, and then you grab it and you learn the Hadouken. And then the Hadouken one-shots everyone, including bosses, and includes the final boss as well. Yeah, for the Sonic code, you had to go to sound test and put in different numbers for different things. And then once you enter the Go Anywhere code, you go to the start menu and hold A and press start, and it takes you to the level select. Then you go to the sound test in level select, put in the Supersonic code, and then you get Supersonic. But there's also other codes. Because like to Go Anywhere, it was 1965-917, and then if you put in another code, it will turn you could turn yourself into objects and stuff. So you could turn yourself into like ring boxes and other experimental items that they didn't use in the game. So there was just a bunch of shit. And then there was a glitch thing that you could do where if you took Sonic the Hedgehog 2, put in the Go Anywhere code, and then pull it out, quickly put in Sonic 3, and then I think you had to put in like an input right before Sonic gets to the title screen, because it's like right before, it's like right when Sonic shows up, but it's before the title screen shows up. I think you had to put in an input, and it lets you go anywhere from that point. But it would only work for the levels that were accessible for Sonic 3, and you could do the same thing for Sonic and Knuckles. But it would only let you go to the levels that were available for Sonic and Knuckles. But then, obviously, if you hook them all together, then you have access to all the levels. But yeah, because like originally, because it'll basically show you how the game looked before it got split apart. So some levels had more acts than they originally did, or than they did in the final version. What other codes were out there that were just stupid fun? Oh, there was the Mega Man 7 code where if you put in the main code that they give you at the very end of the game, because at the very end, when you beat Mega Man 7, they give you a number at the very end of the game, and that number is actually a password that gives you literally every weapon in the game. And then if you I think you had to hold select and start and press start, and it would take you to versus mode, where you got to fight each other as Mega Man or Bass, and they had like Street Fighter moves. So that was a thing. And I think that's how Mega Man Powered Up became or not Powered Up, fuck, what was it called? It's that Mega Man fighting game. Power Battle, there we go. That's how that became a thing. And Power Battle was fun. I wish they actually made like an actual Mega Man fighting game. Like that would be stupid fun. And purposely make Metal Man the best character because he was broken as shit in Mega Man 3, or not Mega Man 3. What was it? Mega Man 4, I think it was. No, it's Mega Man. It's Metal Man from Mega Man 4 or 2. Might be 2. Metal Man. He is from Mega Man 2. Oh yeah, it was always crazy when you find like out of bounds areas that you weren't supposed to go to. Cause that was a thing in GoldenEye where there's like a level that has a lighthouse, and there's no normal way of getting to the lighthouse. And so if I forget how you do it, but like if you glitch or bug your way over there, you can actually walk around. There's like a doorway and I think there's a ladder inside that you can go through. And I think it was just like a scrapped area that they were going to use, but then it just didn't happen. And I think in Driver, there's like an opening scene. It was either Driver or Grand Theft Auto, but it might have been Grand Theft Auto. I think it was Grand Theft Auto 3. And there's like an opening scene that they show you where it's like a giant car chase and all that, and you see them like going through the city and stuff, and you later realize that area does not exist in the game, but there's a glitch you can do that will teleport you to that area. Or I don't even think you can go to the area. I think the area just exists in space, like underneath the actual map of the game, and that's where it is. Like you can see the city just floating there, or that part of the town. Yeah, the ghost town, and it's just floating there because it was only there for that cutscene. It wasn't supposed to be playable. But yeah, shit like that is fun. Like in Ocarina of Time, there's if you use Game Shark or whatever, I'm pretty sure it has to be Game Shark. There's a code you can put in that causes the R-Wing from Star Fox to show up, because they use the R-Wing as a prop to help out with the targeting system. So you could reinsert that back into the game and just have an R-Wing there to attack you. And it's funny because the R-Wing has like the lasers and everything to attack you with, and when you beat it, it actually crashes like it does in Star Fox. So it's just funny that they made it for targeting purposes, but they also gave it like all of its features. So I guess people were just digging around and I was like, you know what, this is fun. let's give it lasers. See, shit like that was fun. And then somehow, throughout the years, they kind of just lost that ability. I mean, once DLC became a thing, it's like, okay, we don't need to have cheat codes anymore for extra content. We can just charge for it. Which, isn't a bad idea in of itself, but they should still throw in some bones here and there. Just be like, oh, here's a cheat code. Like, just to give you some, like, random fun that's not consequential to anything. Live a little. Or how the Konami code was used in a lot of games. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Falsebound Kingdom. If you put in the Konami code, it gives you more money. So you can just buy whatever the fuck you wanted at that point. And it's funny because every time you put it in, the game would chuckle or laugh, and then just say Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was like, what the hell? So it's just like really, like you just get like a really creepy laugh, and then it would say Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, those were the fun times. Figuring out all this weird shit in games, or finding random areas, and you're just like, why is this here? And it was always fun to speculate too, because it was just like, oh, here's this weird area, and here's like this thing that's just, you know, what the hell? Kind of like in Silent Hill, where this wasn't really like a hidden thing necessarily, but but in Silent Hill, what was it? Which one was it? Was 4 the room? I can't remember. I can't remember which one. It was the one where you're trapped in your apartment. But there's this weird like scenario where you keep coming across the fucking bunny mascot, and he's just like really creepy. Where there's like a scene where he's just being creepy in his room, because like you look through a peephole and you see him just like acting weird in the room. And one of them, I think he was with like a hooker. And then there's like one where he's like sitting on his bed alone, but when you look again, he's looking at you and pointing in your direction, knowing that you're there. And it's really fucking creepy. And then he like keeps constantly showing up, and he's like covered in blood and stuff. So yeah, the bunny guy. I forget his name. I think his name was Robbie. Robbie the rabbit. Yeah, Silent Hill had its own share of like weird shit. Like weird Easter eggs were fun. Like they still do that in games, but it's not as prominent as it used to be. And that was always like the fun part. Like you would find that as a kid, just like find like something really bizarre that's like out of nowhere. And then you go and tell your friends like, yo, in this game there's this weird thing, like kind of like in Pokemon Red and Blue, where you go to the SSN, and right before you you board the ship, if you have surf, like, I mean there are ways to get around this, because when you first get to the SSN you don't have surf, so you know your first instinct is just to get into the ship and leave after you do all the stuff in there. But if you get to the ship, do what you need to do, but leave one of the trainers alone, purposely lose that battle, and then you'll get kicked out because your character's blacked out, and you can go back to that area once you have surf, and then just surf away from the SSN, and you'll find a truck, and there's no rhyme or reason why that truck is just there. And I think developers eventually said like it was just an asset that eventually didn't get any use. But I think in later games they put like a small item there just to cater to old school people who know about it. But yeah, there was like a truck that was just that was just sitting there, and there was like no reason why it was there. So people made up all these like rumors. It was like, oh, underneath the truck is Mew, and that's how you get Mew. And you have to like learn cut and learn surf and learn strength, so that way you could cut the tires to use strength to move it or something like that. It was like whatever nonsense the kids made up back then. That was good times. Just coming up with rumors of like how to get bizarre Pokemon, or like the area behind Bill's house. and people would come up with like rumors on that. It's like, oh, if you can get past there, that's where all these rare Pokemon are, like Mew 3 or Pika Blue. God, I remember those old rumors. Or Yoshi was in the game. Yeah, missing though. Yeah, your final party is like 30 Pokemon. Oh, you had Mew Sprite? Yeah, because his data was in the game. There was just no way to actually unlock him without going to like a special event and being given to you by the people at the event. But then later on, you find there's like a data glitch you can do to get Mew, and one of them, and it had to do with like the areas that you were going to and the people you fought. And so the major way of doing it is to leave the bike path alone. Like, don't fight any of the bicyclists there, and as well as don't fight the last person on the top of where Bill's house was. Don't fight the top person. Just leave, or just get out of that area. So you would go down to the bicyclist, press start as quickly as possible when the person sees you, and then fly all the way to Bill's house, fight that person, then fly all the way to Lavender Town, walk out of Lavender Town, and then you immediately get into a battle against Mew. Because I think your options pop up randomly, and then you cancel out, and then you fight Mew. Oh, you got popular because of that? Ah, that's funny. It's like, oh, look, I got Mew in my data. And you're like, oh. Oh yeah, that was good times. Like, I remember back in the day, because this was like when I was in middle school, so I was like in 6th grade when everyone found out how to make duplicates of Pokemon, where you trade whatever Pokemon you want to copy, but then right before it gets to a certain point during the trade, you pull out your link cable, and it'll cause the game to glitch. So you turn it off. So both you and your friend just turn it off, and turn it back on, or whatever the case was. Because I think your friend could still go, but your game would glitch and you had to turn it off or whatever. Your game would still have your Pokemon, and your friend would have the Pokemon you traded, or will have a copy of it. So everybody could get every Pokemon. So that me and my friends, we all had both versions. So we traded all of the, we got all the starters at the beginning, at the very beginning or whatever, and that's how we went about it. So that was fun. I remember doing that. That was good times. So yeah, there was like a lot of group fun doing stuff like that. And I remember Maximilian Dude on YouTube. He was talking about this was pretty recent, but it was in the game, I think, Fighting Vipers, where there was actually a way to unlock the final boss, as well as I think it was Sonic and Tails as playable fighters, but it was in such a ridiculous manner that it was like virtually impossible for you to actually unlock them. Like, the method was in the game, but it was impossible to actually pull it off. Or at the very least, so convoluted that the odds of you being able to do it were low. And it was weird because there was like 2 versions of the boss pulled out to create more Pokemon. Boy, that's a mixed mess. Oh yes, that definitely goes differently nowadays. Yeah, back in my day, we had to pull it out to make more. That was before all this breeding nonsense. Back when Nidoran male and female was a was a separate entity because they didn't understand Pokemon had different genders back then. That'd be weird if they like redid the Pokedex because of how Nidoran functions, or how the genders function. If they went the route of how they handled the Nidorans, then they would have to have certain Pokemon that just specifically look different because they're female, and just classify them all as so and so female. But of course, you know, they didn't do that. They just left Nidoran alone because Nidoran was at a time where that was a undiscovered thing for Pokemon. Pokemon's weird with their lore because they keep treating certain Pokemon as if they always existed. But then it's like, well, that doesn't make sense based on how we play the games, because we're always going like, oh, we're discovering more Pokemon and blah 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 blah. And so by the logic of the show was just like, these always existed, and like, bullshit. I always found it interesting how none of the other characters are at all interested in new Pokemon. It was only the main character and the professor. That was it. And then, like, when a new Pokemon does show up, they're like, you know, a little bit in awe about it. But after that, it's just like, okay, we're done here. I was like, dude, we literally just met God and you don't care? They're like, this seemed better. And then they meet the devil, and it's like, okay, what about this? We literally met and fought the devil. What do you got to say about that? And it's like, it's all right, I guess. It's like, that's pretty basic if you're asking me. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? It's like, alright, here are the gods of time and space. And there's like, only time and space? Oh yeah, definitely. Right now, Pokemon's definitely like, no, the children are wrong. Especially since, you know, as long as they're making a shit ton of money, they're not really going to care if there's problems with the series. Unless it actively hinders their ability to make more money, they're not going to give a shit. I think there'll be a point where they get back to where they were in terms of quality of their game, but right now I think they're in a state of nothing we do will go wrong. Like, I'm fine playing, like, now I'm in the mentality now where I'm not gonna bother trying to collect all Pokemon into one game, because I mean currently that's impossible now. But now I'm just gonna treat the games as like their own self-contained thing. So if I do decide to catch all the Pokemon, it'll be in that specific series, and that's it. Because aside from that, there's no other point. There's no point. Because you're either going to be paying forever for Pokemon Home to keep your Pokemon in there until the time you're allowed to transfer them all, or it just never happens. And they're stuck there, and you don't want them to disappear, so you're gonna pay for it until there's a game that comes out that allows your Pokemon to leave, even if it's only like 20 of them at a time. Because like I had beaten Pokemon Sun and Moon and captured everybody, and I made the mistake of transferring them because it looked like Sword and Shield was gonna put all the Pokemon in there because they were making efforts to do so, but then it just didn't happen. So I have a few Pokemon trapped in home at the moment. So I took it upon myself to just hack my game and reinsert the Pokemon that were missing from my Sun and Moon, because I was like, fuck this, if I can't get them back, I'm just gonna reinsert them back in, because that's bullshit. I need to do that to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon though, because I hadn't played that version, and I know there's significant differences, so I'll eventually play that game normally, because that's the whole point, and then do whatever I need to do to put all my Pokemon into that version, and that one will be the final. Thank you. Yeah, I think this is turning out good. Now I just need to... I'll probably adjust a little bit more of this, but... Thick chicken. Tilt her just a bit to straighten her out. And then I think we're good, but I might put a little bit of fat on this side just so it looks like her rolls go over there, and that's why that looked wrong. There we go. I was like, why does this pen look wrong? It's like, well, for starters, you were using the wrong one. There we go. And then, funny, when it comes, I was watching Kamen Rider, and I guess the episode that's supposed to be airing this week accidentally leaked by Toei. So some people got the episode, and I found it too. I watched it raw, so I can only assume what's happening. I'll have to wait until the site that I usually watch it on gets subtitles. But it was just kind of funny. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot all the episodes. Well, maybe not all of them, but like a good chunk of episodes were already filmed. So it's just kind of funny that that the next episode got leaked. Because at first I started seeing like clips of it, I was like, wait, where is this from? Did I like miss an update? And I was like, no, this episode was just leaked. Torn backpack under her. I should just have Banjo holding his backpack, and she's like, you gotta be kidding if you think I'm gonna be fitting in that. I mean, realistically, she'd be bigger than the backpack, but I'll put like a little bit of... Hold on, let me get an image of the backpack so I know what it looks like. Backpack. There we go. Oh yeah, it sucked that the Banjo and Kazooie statue got messed up. There's just 2 straps. Okay, that's not too crazy. I'll just draw just a little bit of it messed up and have like the straps on it. Because there really isn't much I can do for it. So, just a little bit, nothing crazy. Alright. Now to crop out what I don't need. Now her colors are going to be interesting. Actually, I kind of want to add a little bit of fluff. Chest fluff. And that is the color white. There we go. Clean this up a little. There we go. Try a little bit of a darker color. There we go. That should be better. much of our belly is actually colored. It's more just a little round spot. Yeah, it doesn't super encompass her chest. So I'll just do a little bit. And then I'll just erase whatever I don't want. That's on our chest. There we go. Now our wings are going to be interesting because there is yellow on our feathers. There we go. Yellow belly. Let me make sure none of it got on this part. Let's erase some of this. Yeah, it was fun. I had fun with the Marcy AI. And yeah, the creator had asked me how I came across their their female Skylar AI, and I told them that I found it off of the BBW site too. Yeah, like AI chat, I don't really have a problem with. It's the AI art that I have a problem with, because that can lead to other issues. And then the problem is that even if companies use their own artists to help the AI make certain types of art and all that, potentially that will cause the artists to lose their jobs. Because I guess like Blizzard's doing that right now to help them with like um, um, environmental textures and stuff like that. And it isn't explained how they're doing it yet, but if it boils down to, because like there's two ways it goes about it. It's either gonna learn off of random people um, illegally, or without credit, or whatever the case may be, or they get their own artists to create artwork for the AI to learn off of. But then essentially, you no longer need those artists, at least not for that specific task anymore. So you're essentially losing your job at that point. So it's a weird double-edged sword on that. The colors for this wasn't complicated, it's more of a light blue. But I would say AR art is fine if like the actual artist is using it for themselves to help them like get like a more an idea fleshed out a little more. But like don't take the result raw. Like still put in the effort to change what the result is, and put in your own efforts towards the end result, and then it's fine. But other than that, I really don't think very highly of it. Especially since there are people who just use it to try to make money by just cranking out the characters. They're like, oh, you can get us a whole art set of these for however much money. And I'm just like, you literally did nothing for this. Yeah, there's a Marcy AI that chat that you can have fun with. I made a journal about it on DeviantArt or FurInfinity, whatever. Put like a little journal and gave the artist or the creator credit for making it. I like that they said they tried to be honest with the characters, so she was like really fucking wholesome. Tech bros of the present, we're making AI to create art and literature so you can get back to work. It's like, futurists of the past, of the future. In the future, machines will handle dreading labor, freeing humanity for arts and creative. I know, right? They kind of just fuck themselves on that statement. It's like, oh, it's to help you get more time to be creative, and now we're gonna take that away. Honestly, it's probably not a big deal in the grand scheme of things if it comes to when it comes to businesses and people just trying to make some money off of abusing AI. It's probably not going to be as big of a deal because it's at the moment it's easy to tell. Two, you can tell the person can't make anything else. Like there'll be like they can't make anything on their own. Like there'll be like easy ways to figure that out. And I don't think major artists or like people that actually draw will have any actual issues. Let's smooth out this belly a little bit more. Oh, I didn't mean to. I just kind of my eyes just like went to one thing, and then it's just like, well, let's just go backwards. Just kind of round this out just a little bit more. Fill this in. There we go. It's better. Still this little spot right here. Okay. Now I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't I shading this like in an entirely different way before? Hold on, what did I do with Blake? Because now I'm tripping out. I'm like, wait, have I been doing this weird this entire fucking time? So let me grab this version of Blake and see what I did. It could be that I just... yeah, I did do it the other way. What the fuck? I've been doing this weird. Which means potentially I might have to go back to Tristan. Because I'm like, wait a minute, I was doing something different. Oh, it's just the way I was doing sheeting. So like, I'll show you. I'll actually show you. So let me grab Tristan. Because I just noticed because I'm sitting there doing this and I'm just like, why does it feel like I'm missing a step? And then I slowly realized what the problem was. So let me grab Tristan so I can show you what I mean. So let me turn on. So like turn these off for a moment. So when I do shading right now with Tristan, let me put her to normal. So this was how Tristan's shading was for that I did. I did gray, and then I did, you know, the lights, and then I did the shadows, and then I changed this to multiply, and then put this on 80%. So that's how I got that. What I normally did, so let me just turn this off, or I don't have to turn that off. I can just turn this particular thing off. But I'll turn these off for the demonstration. So what I normally do, because these are colors, I make a duplicate of the color layer. Come on. There we go. I make a duplicate of the color layer. I flatten it so it's on its own. So this is the color and all that right now. Oh yeah, it's on 80%. So let me put it back to normal. So this is her normal or flat color. What I was supposed to do was put black over it. Change the black setting to color, so it gives me her in grayscale. Merge those two together. And instead of using just straight up gray, I was supposed to use this and then add all that stuff. And then change it to multiply. Put it at 80%. And for all I know, this is probably exactly the same. But so let's find out. So this is all that stuff turned back on that I did before. And who knows? Some of this could have been different because I'm using the mentality of having it to straight up gray. So if I open the pictures that I made from just using straight up gray, so there is a difference. So this is it with the proper grayscale, and then this is it with the gray. So it's actually darker with the gray. The question is, which one's better? Which is subjective. So this is what it should have looked like. This is me doing it wrong. So oh, sorry, I did it wrong the entire time. So yeah, this is what it should have looked like, and this is what it being wrong. So you know what? I'm just gonna leave it wrong, and just remember, like, oh yeah, do it the correct way next time, you idiot. Because there's stuff here that probably could have been different if I had been in that mentality, but because I was using the wrong grayscale method, some of the shading and stuff like that is in spaces where it probably shouldn't be. But yeah, that is our lesson for today. So let me just close this and close this. No, I don't want to save it. But we're gonna do that properly with Kazooie though. So I'll just make another layer to make it easier. Black. Because I was looking at this, I was like, why does it feel like I'm doing this wrong? And now I know. And we're not going to need this anymore. And why is there... You, why are you here? Let's delete that. So I guess there's a little bit of yellow stuff showing. And just to help me make sure that that doesn't happen again, we're going to do this. Black. Color. Do not conform. Whoa, that's big. Eraser. There we go. The correct grayscale is definitely lighter. Yeah, it's like because once you're going about it in a certain mindset, it's really hard to just say, oh, just swap these out and it's fixed. Like you have to actually go back and correct the areas that should and shouldn't have light and shadows. So it's not a simple fix. Because in certain areas it would be stuff that shouldn't be too bright and too dark and all that. But yeah, it was just a simple reminder. I was like, "Hey, dumbass, this is how you did it before." I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot." Because when I drew the Blake picture, that was when that was before my old computer fucked over. Because you know what? Now that I think about it, I wonder if the second Blake pic has the same issue. Because I think I just got thrown off after all that happened. So let's find out. So, do you have the wrong method? And the answer is, as soon as I turn off this other shit. And the answer is yes, you have the wrong method. But that's okay, because it worked out. Because like the bright side is, even though I used the wrong method, because this was the method I used before the method I use now. But luckily, because I know what the hell I'm doing, it wasn't like it turned out bad or anything. It was just one of those things where it's like, huh, feels like I'm doing something wrong, and then I noticed what it was. Just took me a moment because I'm like, it doesn't look wrong. Why does it feel wrong? And then now I'm like, okay, that's why. That's why it was wrong. So it wasn't like the overall picture was just completely ruined because of the method. It was just more of like a, oh. Yeah. So I'll be sure to not do that for the future. And you know what? Just for shits and giggles, let's tease what the next pick will look like. So here's the next Blake pick. Little treat for the four of you. So this is the one that's next in line. So yeah, if it gets there, I'll work on it. Yeah, like it worked out because I was already in the mindset of where it was, so it wasn't like it wasn't like a auto thing where it's like, oh, just do the exact same thing with the wrong thing in place. It's like, no, it was adjusted based on where things were. Okay, so let's continue this. Yep, she a chubby bunny. And then the pick after that one should... I'm in the eraser. The pick after that one should be the Blake that we have in Secrets. And then after that one are the two exaggerated Blake picks. Whereas like, all right, now she thick. Now she pretty chunky now. And then can always have Marcy show up at the end. And here's a little thing here, but I think I can fix that with some lighting. But could probably have Marcy show up on the last one to instigate Blake getting fatter. Be like, oh, how's my chubby bunny? Or how's my big bun? Heavy Blake and heavier Blake. No, Heavy Blake and Heavy Blake EX. Or Shin Fat Blake. I don't know. I'm just talking. Neo Blake. I don't know. I kind of wish they didn't do that for Hisako and Killer Instinct. When they made another character based off of her, but they just called it Shin Hisako. I feel like they either could have, one, come up with a better name for that particular state, or two, they could have just made it a different character. Like, they could have still used Hisako's model, but since they were changing things around, I think they could have made it a different character and just still made them Asian. But whatever. It's a minor complaint. It's not that big of a deal. I think it was just kind of weird because I think that knowing that the people who were making that part of the game at the time, they were super into Street Fighter stuff, and so they made the game more Street Fighter-esque to a degree, and so it just feels more Street Fighter to have the name Shin in it. But I could be wrong. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. I'm just overthinking it. Yeah. The pic I teased is basically when her mom figures, or no, the pic I showed you is when she still has her free stuff and she realizes that she can use the freebies at other restaurants that or at other businesses that the company owns. So she starts going into like other stuff, and then it's the pic after that where her mom figures out what she's been doing and confiscates her ability to get free food. So I don't know, takes whatever, like, free card or something. But then the last two picks are after she's met Marcy and they've hooked up, and Marcy is taking advantage of Blake's bad habits. So that's the idea, at least. Just a matter of how to make it look good. Heaviest Blake Ultra Combo, Alpha, Beta version, New Game Plus, and Knuckles, plus Funky Kong, including Dante from Devil May Cry. Good one. Super Ultra Turbo. Game of the Year edition. Game of the Year, Blake. No, that would be Stacey. Stacey would have Game of the Year edition. Some places I don't touch with lighting because if they're already light or bright, then sometimes the shade that I'm using is actually darker. Getting closer to being done though. do. I could totally see Kazooie like putting Banjo in a conundrum where they're like screwing around, but then Kazooie says, "No pregnant, only breed," and then Banjo's like, "Wait, what?" It just confuses the fuck out of him. Or if she has a cloaca and he sticks it in, she's like, "No, no, damn it, that's the wrong hole." And he's like, "Wait, what?" And so he tries again. He's like, "No, wrong hole." And he just goes into a fucking panic attack because he doesn't know what the fuck to do. It's basically Devin and Addison from No Harm No Foul. There was like a little skit about that. Dun dun dun. do that. Oh yeah, she'd probably do that. She'd be like sitting there playing video games or something, and she finds like a slice of pizza under her tits, and she's like, I thought I ran out of pizza, or I thought we ran out of pizza," and then she just starts eating it, and Banjo's like, "Kazooie, we had pizza like 2 weeks ago, or a week ago." Finds cookie crumbs, some chips, as she's just gobbling fucking popcorn. Pulls out one of her several dozen sodas, just starts guzzling it. And it's not even like a soda can, it's just a fucking 2-liter. Five-second rule, Banjo. And even then, Banjo was like, but it's been a week. And she's like, 5-second rule, whatever. So starts eating. He goes, wow. What's THPS? I'm probably being dumb right now, but what is that? Oh, it's only okay. I like the music choices that they had in those games. They were fun. They were just like chill, zone out music. I could totally see Banjo going like, "Kazooie, I think you have a problem." He's like, like I do not have a problem." And he's like, "Fine, I don't have to take any of this." And she tries to leave, but she's too fucking fat. She can't move, and so in order to save face, she just says, "Banjo, can you leave the room so that way I can have some sense of dignity?" And he's like, "Sure, Kazooie." He just leaves. Like it probably wouldn't be until like the very end of the whole fucking shenanigans that she'd actually lose weight to get things back to normal. But then it would just like cut to like a moment where she's like, yeah, it was a hard thing, but you know what? I'll keep things in check. And then she just pulls out a six pack and some chips and just starts sitting down, sitting down to play a game. And Banjo's just like, oh dear. And that's the end of it. She's like, now to reward myself for losing all this weight, just pulls out a six pack. It's always fun just making up shit for characters. Doesn't matter if it's canon or not, it's just dumb fun. I could see Kazooie getting pissed off that Banjo went to go kart racing without her. And so when he gets back from Diddy Kong Racing, she's standing in the house like with the lights off, and he turns it on. And she's just standing there with like a rolling pin or something. And he's like, "Oh, Kazooie, you're awake." And she's like, "So, did you have fun today?" And he's like, I could see Kazooie trying to cheat in losing weight, and so she gets in contact with Mumbo, and he tries to make her skinny, but he just makes her even fatter. And he's like, "Oh, Mumbo used wrong spell," and he just leaves. And he's like, "Mumbo, you better get your ass back over here." Like he just makes a run for it. He's like, "Mumbo, I know where you live." And then after she gets skinny, that's when she has her fucking shit list of people she's gonna fucking bomb that made fun of her when she was fat. She just goes on a road trip. She's like, "Oh, Banjo, I'm gonna go on a road trip for a bit." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Do you need me to come?" No. I just need some me time. And she just has like a fucking list of names. Be like Jay and Silent Bob. And like when she shows the list, there should be like a name on there that doesn't even make sense for there to be for it to be there. Like it just says Diddy Kong for some reason, and it's like, what the fuck? Why is Diddy Kong on the list? Like he wasn't even here. Reminds me of that episode of Ed, Ed and Eddie, where Ed and Eddie got Double D to do all these like shenanigans because they were tampering with his sticky note system that he has with his parents. And so Eddie finally tells Double D what was going on, and he's like, it was all Ed's fault, and Rolf, or I think he's either Rolf or Kevin. I think he says Kevin, and Kevin as usual. And he's like, Kevin, Kevin wasn't even in this episode. Yeah, well, what's yours is mine. We're good. Exhausted after 2 steps, steps out, pulls out a party-sized bag of chips. Yep, exactly. She's like, all this. She takes 2 steps. All this exercise is making me hungry. Pulls out chips. I need to do that. I need to have a character just be such a hopeless slob that any effort to get skinny is going to be a fucking trial. Just make them like completely hopeless. And it would take someone super dedicated to help them lose weight, if even possible. And it's like, all right, finally, you've lost weight. Like they're all skinny and stuff. Then like a week later, the person's like chunky again, like not super fat, but just chunky. Like have like the chunky as a default. And I was like, what the? Why are you fat again? He's like, oh, I was just gotta do this again. And she's like, you know what? I think you're fine this way. Just don't let it go crazy. Claire's attempts at getting Nadine to lose weight. Exactly. She's like, all right, Nadine, we're gonna help you lose weight. And she's like, do we have to? And there's a mistake right here. And I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not in the mood to change that. It's like almost not enough for me to want to change it, but it's nitpicking me now because now I'm looking at it and it's fucking with me. And now I want to change it, so I'm going to do that. It's like, you don't have to change it. And like, yeah, I do. Now it's in my head. It's an easy fix, but still, it was just like one of those things where it's like, I don't need to do this, and then 2 seconds later, I need it. It's like literally the SpongeBob thing. It's like, I need it. And now it looks more yellow than the others, so we gotta do it this way. There, fixed. And then that's when he notices this one over here. There we go. Now that's fixed. Now we just gotta replace it in this one. Oh, for a brief moment I was like, shit. And I was like, oh wait, no, we're good. Oh god. I drive myself mad sometimes. There we go. Okay, back to normal. Mistake, good job. It's so fucking small. Like, you have no idea how often I find like the most minor of mistakes, and I know it's stuff that nobody would ever fucking notice if I didn't say anything, but I know it's there, and so I will make the attempt to fix it regardless. Because if I don't, it's just gonna be in the back of my head until I like step away and forget about it, like go do something else until it's just completely out of my mind. Which is also hard because, you know, looking at my artwork all the time, I'm bound to remember that that there was a mistake. But it's just one of those things where I just like, no, just ignore it. Just ignore it. And I'm like, but it's a mistake. And you made that mistake and you can fix it and it's right there. You should fix that. And I'm like, no. But usually I do. It's a curse. Just that little nagging thing in the back of your head going like, you know you could have fixed that, right? Like a fucking gremlin in my head. It's like, so you're getting lazy, huh? You don't want to fix things now? You're gonna leave it as it is because you don't want to fix it when you can? And I'm like, I hate you. That's just fucking Becky. That's basically all it is. It's just Becky in my head just telling me the shit. It's like, hey loser, you should fix that. Like, I could totally see her doing that. Like, I'm sitting here drawing. She comes up behind me with like a bag of chips and takes like a few crunches, and she's like, "You made a mistake right here," and then she just leaves. And then like I try to ignore her and not do it, but then she comes back and she's like, "Oh, you're just gonna leave it there, huh? Getting lazy." And she just walks away. And I'm just like, "Fucking bitch." Oh yeah, I like the hands on the hips thing. I like the sass. Yeah, it is as good to like, you know, try to be as like, obviously you can never be perfect, but it's good to like not just half-ass stuff. Like, don't just leave in mistakes just because you don't feel like fixing them when you can do so. Like, obviously there's a difference between having the time to fix something and like, is the mistake super minor, like to the point where fixing it literally does nothing. There's that, but most of the time, at least in my case, if I have the ability to fix it and it's like something significant enough to fix, then I'll do it. Other times there might be a mistake that I'm just sitting there going like, is it gonna matter if I fix that? And I'm like, no, because like it's one of those things like if I pull the picture out and look at it from like a normal point of view, like from what most people would see it as, there's a chance that I won't fix it, but if it's like nagging me in the back of my head, then knowing that it exists, then I'll fix it. Because at that point, I just can't ignore it. Because I know it's there. She would do that. She probably wouldn't touch the screen all the time, but she'd probably do it just to get me to clean the screen if I hadn't done so in a while. You're like, you missed a spot, and just puts a greasy mark on my fucking screen. I was like, you bitch. Well, I'd probably be much more pissed off than that if she did that. I was like, what the fuck, you fucking bitch? And then she's like, she'd be like, oh, we're calling each other names now, huh? Or if I like just get frustrated and be like, God, I fucking hate you, and she's like, I know you love me, bitch. She just walks away. Or I'd like try to lecture her or something about whatever, and she's like, okay, Dad. I was like, it feels weird. And he's like, and then she'd be like, but you are my dad. You're my daddy. I'm like, like, this is weird. It's weird hearing it from you. She'd probably feel the same way if I called her baby girl. She'd be like, no. It's like, it doesn't feel good on the other side, does it? He's just like, shut up. It'd be a fun tease. I have the mindset of if my character suddenly came to life, that's basically what the shenanigans would be. It would be like Roger Rabbit type of shenanigans. Like fucking Kitsune and her gigantic titties just fucking dicking around because she can. And then there's the other upsides of, well, at least that would mean Marcy was real, so let's all have a mental visualization of that. That works. It's like, wait, Marcy's real? You just look outside and you see gigantic cheeks just walking around. It's like, Jesus Christ, she's huge. Just be like, damn. And then Skylar just comes up from behind. It's like, yeah, I'm hitting that. I was thinking of like a cute scenario where like Skylar gets home from like a rough day at work of like, just having like a shit ton of orders to do and stuff. And so he's just exhausted, and so he sits down on the couch and Marcy comes over and brings him a beer for him to relax, and then she just sits down with them, they like watch like a show or a movie or something. And he's like so exhausted that he just literally passes out, but he like falls asleep right on her tits. And she just like, oh, and she just holds him close as they just sit down and cuddle. Or lay on the couch and cuddle. She'd probably take the beer out of his hands to make sure he doesn't spill it. Yeah, the Marcy AI was interesting because she was making it clear that yeah, she gets looks from other men and stuff like that, and they think she's sexy because she's so fat, but she's committed to Skylar and would never cheat on him. And I thought that was cute and wholesome. Yeah, it'd be cute for like Skylar to just come home from work and he's just a little tired, so they just cuddle. Snuggles against her big fat body and giant tits. And she's just, hugging her hubby. As the girls are either like in their rooms or asleep because it's nighttime, probably. Yeah, that'd be adorable. And he just gets home, gets to see the wife and kids, gives them some hugs and gives his kids some hugs and kisses and all that. Marcy has dinner made, so Skylar gets to kind of relax a bit, have some dinner. Um, Gets himself a beer, sits on the couch to chill, still a little tired, and then Marcy just comes over and cuddles. And he has his big soft wife to snuggle against. It'd be adorable. Yeah, exactly. He just falls asleep right in her titties, and she just giggles and laughs, as she gets him more comfy. Probably grabs like a nearby blanket that they usually use when they're chilling on the couch. Hey, Thunder Kid. About to stop in a bit. I'm almost done with this. Only got a few more steps to do. Go on until this is done. Probably be like another 15-20 minutes, I think. Not really much else to do. Doing alright, just working on this to get 2 of the Fat Lowers clubs out of the way. Pinned down by Skylar's dead weight. Glad I grabbed the remote. Yeah. It's basically cat logic. It's like, up, cat fell asleep on you. By cat law, you can't move. Same thing if it was a dog. I've had that happen. Where animals have fallen asleep on me, and I was like, well, I can't move anymore. It's like, well, that's it for the rest of the day. Part of me wants to add in some dialogue, but if I do, I want to do it in the style of the video game, where it's just their heads in the floating bubble. Just have her making some like snarky remark, where she's like, "I'm perfectly fine. I have not gained. I've only," or she'd probably say something like, "I've only gained a couple of pounds. Now shut up and go grab me those chips." Or shut up and go order me a pizza. Oh yeah, she would definitely have him still carry her places. She's like, "Where do you think you're going?" "Well, I'm gonna go on an adventure." He's like, "And you're gonna just leave me? You're not exactly able to go anywhere." And she's like, "Bitch, get your backpack and put me on and carry me." And then as he's like struggling to take a step to move her, she's like, "Can you go a little faster?" And he's like, and he in his mind he's like, "Can you lose a little weight?" But he's just like, using the strength of gods to be moving her fat ass. Probably goes to Mumbo to help make him a little stronger. He's like, "Yo, can you do me a solid and make me stronger so I can carry her?" That requires effort. No. Yeah, she's just like completely unmovable, and he's just trying to pull her with the straps. He's like, "Huh." My question is, what the hell is that weird sound effect that they make? It's like this weird high pitched noise when he like falls from a high enough height. It's like a weird noise, and it just doesn't fit either banjo or kazooie. But it's like some weird sound effect that they gave them. I'm so glad that they're in Smash though. I was like, oh, thank God. Like, my only complaint was if Steve had gotten into the game before those two. Then I would have been pissed. But luckily they did before Steve was announced. I was like, my Nano was all like, "Hey, Steve's in the game." Like, that's fine. I got Banjo. I only would have been mad if it was the other way around. That Banjo got in after Steve. I'd be like, "Bitch, what the fuck?" The rejected Steve memes. I just find it funny that the things that people like about Minecraft have nothing to do with Steve. Because Steve doesn't really have a personality. Or even a character. He's just there. And granted, other characters in Smash who originally didn't have personalities but were given that for Smash have been in the game, so Smash kind of already solved that because they did that for Steve for his trailer, where he just kind of shows up and then he's like trips out when he sees the what are they called, crawlers? I think they were. His fall scream sounds pretty normal. Let me see if I can find the one I'm thinking of. No, not that one. It's the one where he goes like, it's like why? It's like that, but it's like very high pitched. It's like some weird noise. Like I won't do it now because I'm recording and doing all this. But I'll probably post it later on Discord. But it's just like some weird squeak noise or whatever the hell it is. I think he does it in Smash too. I can't remember. Because like when he first falls, he goes yup oh, but then when he actually hits the ground, he makes a weird like sound effect with it. Okay, I think we're done with this part. need to start getting closer when I do this. She sees what you're doing. She's not. Yeah, that would likely be the case. Seeing everyone zipping around and doing all these like crazy stuff, and she's just like, eh. I could totally see like other characters trying to like woo Kazooie, but she's just like unimpressed and uninterested. And then she sees Bowser, not Bowser. I keep saying Bowser. She sees Banjo just being a fucking goober, and she just like has like a little smirk and a flutter of her eyes, just kind of like, oh yeah, that's what I'm after. she's like, bring him over. Yeah, I can totally see Kazooie just being into Banjo's silliness and him just being a goober. He's like, oh yeah, I'm into that. Talks to the other female characters of video games, and she's just like, oh yeah, see Banjo over there? Just Banjo just being silly. Like Banjo's holding like, I don't know, some honeycombs or whatever that he's collected, and he accidentally spills honey on himself. He's like, oh, and she's like, I'm hitting that. This Kazooie being just super wooed by Banjo's silliness. I think that would be cute. Now I'm just thinking of Phineas and Ferb, and I'm thinking about when they all acknowledged the floating baby head. And they're all trying to figure out what the hell was up with that. It's like, what was with the floating baby head thing? And they're like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. And then it happens like twice. If I remember right. It's either 2 or 3 times where that shows up, and they're just like, what was with the floating baby head? And they're like, I don't know. It's like the second time it's happened. Because I think the first time it shows up, it was like in a haunted house or something. And then like Candace brings it up. I was like, what was with the floating baby head thing? Like, baby head? We didn't do that. I should watch Phineas and Ferb again. That shit is fun. It's a good series. Like, I totally just see Kazooie looking at Banjo going like, he's an idiot, but he's my idiot. Oh yeah, they're bringing back Tiny Toons. That's gonna be interesting. And Lola's actually gonna show up in it this time. I mean, obviously because she wasn't around back then. But that's gonna be an interesting scenario or interesting show to watch, especially since they stopped doing Animaniacs. Yeah, like Banjo would accept that Kazooie's just a bitch a lot of the time, but she's like nice to him. Like she can like, you know, probably go she probably go off on him every once in a while, but he knows that she has a sweet side. And then Banjo is just a fucking goober. That's probably what does it for her. She's just like, yep, he's dumb. He's dumb sometimes, but she likes it. It's like the Jessica Rabbit, Roger Rabbit type of scenario. It's like he makes me laugh. Yeah, that's why Banjo and Kazooie have a really good relationship. They complement each other very well. Okay, does this actually do anything? Probably not. I'm just gonna leave it. Doesn't seem to actually do anything. Plus, the way I draw things, it probably doesn't change anything. Oh yeah, probably need that. And I'm just going to use this. Come on. Thank you. Oh yeah, I need to finish Love Hina because I've only read parts of the manga. Because I think I have like what the first 5 books. I think I need to finish that. I need to figure out how to get the other ones, but I know there's a lot. Because I used to get them back when I was in high school. Never watched the anime though. If there was an anime, I assume there is. It was a popular enough series. They're pretty sure there was. Do this, and of course we're gonna change it up a bit. So that way it's not so overwhelming. But right now it looks all pixelated, so we're gonna blur the shit out of it. Let's try 20. Yeah, that's fine. How would it look if I did this? Unofficial translations are weird. Yeah. I remember the old days of finding anime that were like so poorly translated that you know damn well it wasn't correct. But there were like literally was nothing you could do about it. You either accepted it or you didn't watch it. It's like, oh, we're going to send you to the bowels of hell. I was like, I'm pretty sure they didn't say that in the scene. Yeah, I need to look up how many there were, and then like slowly start collecting the rest if I can. Like if I'm able to get them, then I will. Because my first manga was Chobits. I think my second was Love Hina when I was able to get it. I don't know what stopped me from collecting it back then. I think I just got occupied with other things. Probably school. Yeah, I could see Marcy doing that towards her mom. And her mom just kind of chills the fuck out. Get a little darker since she ain't going anywhere. There we go. And maybe I'll add some color, more color to the background. Let's see. Let's try this. Some blue. Try some purple. Lighten up this blue a bit more. See what this looks like. Actually, let's do it this way. Yeah, it's just a screenshot from when Banjo and Kazooie were announced from for the Smash thing, and it's that shot right after they fill in the hole when of them being announced, and then now I'm just tweaking it for my own needs. Let's see. I think I want something like this, but let's change that. I think the overlay might be too much. Let's turn this off until we figure out this part. What's this? Okay. Maybe I'll go for a darker tone so that way it's not having just a giant white looking box. It's like it looks white, but it's not. Pin lights. It's one of those things where it's like, I think this is fine. Let me just tone it down more. I've gotta figure this one out. Might be better, it's just a multiply. Yeah, this is starting to look weird. See, this is fine. We just need this to look better. I think it was better the other way. Toss that. This back. Bump you back up to 70. Yeah, I think it was better this way. Okay, we tried. One more thing I want to play with. This is Silk Honor, because I know that's going to be weird. I think she's fine without it. Alright. And that's when I realized I forgot to put the thing on Tristan. God damn it. Because I'm like, yay, we're done. And I'm like, are we? It's like, hey, dumb fuck, stop forgetting shit. You're awake? We're almost done. I just need to put something here. And now I gotta resave all these. Yes. And artist work is never done. Ain't that the truth? I wonder why this setting isn't saving. Let's see if I can fix that. Yeah, Banjo will have to turn himself into a forklift to take her anywhere. And we are done. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you everyone for coming. It took me a little bit longer than usual to finish this up, but well, probably not longer. I was working on the other pick before I finished this one up, but but yeah, thank you everybody for coming. Um, I'm gonna work on more commissions probably tonight, probably and during the weekend. So I'm not gonna do streams this weekend. I should be finishing up all the commissions this weekend. If not, then a little bit of next week. But it should be done in the coming days. But after that, then I'll be doing the last two Fat Lovers Club picks, and then we'll be returning to normal stuff like comics and all that. But yeah, how many do I have? I have 7 left currently. 3 of them are comic pages, 3 of them are full color, and then 1 is a other thing that we're doing. But yeah, I'm almost done with them all. But yeah, thank you for coming. I will see you guys next time, alright? And then I will post these on Patreon pretty soon. So, you guys take care. Have a good night. / morning.